My 24M partner, 23F, kicked me out of our house and we have a 4-month-old baby together. I'm really just looking for any words of advice, consolation, or even a reality check. I'm so torn up right now, the sadness is eating me alive. We've been together for just over 2 years. Now, we found out she was pregnant 1 year into our relationship. And after so much back and forth on both parts, we decided to keep the baby. The baby was born 4 months ago and he is the biggest joy in our lives. I love him with all of my heart and my partner, X, does too. And I'm so happy that she is the mother of my child because I love so much about her. From her beauty and likes and dislikes, to her imperfections, but most of all love the way she cares for our child. I work full-time plus in order to pay for rent, groceries, leisure, clothing, etc. for her, the baby and us. I'm working extremely hard to provide her with the ability to be a stay-at-home mother in one of the most esteemed cities in Southern California. I do this because I've assumed the financial responsibility of parenting my child and seek to give the mother the best possible, stress-free life with the ability to be 100% present and available during such a tender time for the both of them. She had been mentioning how she fell out of love with me and didn't feel as romantically engaged in me as before. I tried suggesting this could be due to hormonal changes after birth, while still acknowledging her feelings. The first couple months after birth we were consistently sexually active and she was deeply in love with me, or so I thought. Things started to decline as I came back to work and was less present around the house. I really wanted to try to raise my son with my partner in the same household. We tried therapy, did a few sessions, over the span of 5 months, had some insight into our situation, but no resolution yet. It came to the point where she told me that she was completely out of love with me and done trying, that she appreciated all of the financial support and how good I am with our child, but that I lacked the emotional space for her and the baby, which breaks my heart. She told me that she likes nothing about me and actually despises who I am and that it was a mistake to have a child with me. She expresses how she is completely romantically detached from me and how she wants to find romance and love again, and that it can't work with me in the picture. She had been consciously keeping my baby away from my parents, his grandparents. They only got to hold him once or twice after the birth. She keeps my baby away from her own mother. She is an elementary school and tutor. Meanwhile, my partner's father is home with her every day, caring for our baby while I am at work, and he is even spending the night at our house. Her father is well able, retired, jobless, lives off Social Security but too prideful to work consistent jobs. Therefore he has no home or rental. He lived out of a cheap motel until they found that I could house him for free. I am grateful of how he is able to be present to help my partner get sleep and look after the baby while I am away, working for the family. Both of them know this. Everything hit the fan after I was told that I needed to pay for my partner to have a running car that was up to date with insurance and registration. I have 2 cars and only drive one daily. Her having an automobile is a given to me and I was not trying to hold back this necessity. But they basically forced me into a situation where I had to sell my work vehicle in order to pay for her car, $2,000 plus, to get back on the road. I didn't see her car as high priority considering her father was living with her and was driving her into town every day, and I picked her and our child up after work daily. I asked if there was any way that I could have some help in this situation, perhaps from her father, and that my work vehicle greatly facilitated my work life. She took this as me not willing to sell my car and or me not wanting her to have a working car. She walked out to her father, who came back angry and aggressive, asking me why I always push back, to stop getting in the way of everything, and do what his daughter says. I simply told him I have no problem in getting her car up and running and that I misunderstood just how high priority it was considering the situation. He told me I had to grow up, and got extremely aggressive towards me. Her seeing her father in this state really triggered her, as she views him in very good light, and almost whatever he says goes in her mind. I was then kicked out of my house on the premise that she needed 3 nights of spaces, and this relationship wasn't working. It has since been 2 nights. She let me see my son for 30 minutes yesterday. Half of the time he was sleeping. The other half I was trying to spend talking to her. We were in a busy environment and didn't get anywhere. She hears what I have to say but has no feelings or empathy for me. She says we will do 3 more nights, then we'll see. I am now kicked out of my house, living on friends' couches, while her and her father are living in the 2-bedroom space with 4 beds that I have paid for nearly 12 months. I can't believe this is my reality, and I am absolutely devastated that I can't be with my child or sleep under the same roof as them. As a father and protector, this is my biggest nightmare. Somebody please give me insight. TLDR. My girlfriend and mother of my child kicked me out of the house I pay for and is now housing her homeless father there, while I am told I need to find a new place for myself and we can no longer live under the same roof. Get a lawyer ASAP. Look into what rights you have in your area and get everything you need in order to be in your child's life. Bro, why are you even here? Everyone is explaining to you that you're being a doormat, and your response is, but I like being a doormat. Then continue being a doormat. But don't pretend like you're asking for advice on how not to be one. She doesn't want you to go to court because she knows that she won't control you anymore. Ignore her threats. Get yourself situated, your own place. Then go to court and seek 50-50 custody. Now your son can visit your own family and she can no longer control. Put your foot down. Don't let her walk all over you. She needs to step up and put the work in. There is a child involved now and she's being unbelievably selfish. If she doesn't, you need to ask her to leave your home. You went above and beyond. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer, go back home. You need to post in our legal advice. Are you sure the kid is yours? Get a lawyer and a paternity test. You were kicked out of your own house? And you just left? You need to find your balls ASAP. Buddy, they are using you big time. If your partner isn't paying anything or signed any lease, call the police and tell them you have 2 people trespassing in your house. If she needs space, tell her to go. WTF, you left your house. Get a lawyer and get as much custody of your son as possible. Kick the worthless old man out too. WTH, even is this nonsense? Most esteemed Southern California cities, 24 FVS 24 meters, TF. Proceeds to tell a story that does not add up in any way, shape or form for 24-year-olds. 2 cars? Grifted out of the house? Come on, man. Is anyone really believing this? Truly. Does anybody else feel gaslit by this post? There's something missing here. What have you left out? This doesn't add up at all. She sounds like something triggered her. You're getting the advice you need and have an excuse for everything. You need to start acting on your terms. This will only get worse because you're allowing yourself to be a punching bag. Is there more to this story? As parent who has been through the system, you need to get a lawyer to start lining out custody and child support. You need to keep all receipts involved in paying toward your child's care for now until you can get a court date. It took 2 years to get through courts, and they wrote every payment I sent my ex off as a gift. So I had child support plus arrearage payments when I had put more money towards her than what the courts had ordered. I let the system tell me what to do without getting a lawyer and somehow ended up 5K in back child support for a 3-year-old whose mother had been getting 50% of my check. I moved from a state that automatically withdrew child support to one that didn't. So just trying to call to figure out where and how to send it left me in a spiral of being treated like trash. Threatened to have warrants put out over 2 missed months that over time period I had called 27 times to child support in court trying to find out how to pay when it was not auto-pulled from check. Finally got a lawyer. He went through and got me the info I need and found a 3K discrepancy in their calculations of my back support. This is very, very odd. If this is a sudden change, I feel like she has PPD. Someone who retreats from family without cause and hides the baby. Lack of libido. Mood swings. 180 of feelings. All could be symptoms. That said, as others have said, you have rights and should stop paying her until you get a paternity test and lawyer to make sure you aren't getting shafted. You have a right to have access to your child. And if you're not together, you need to figure out a fair means to provide and divide custody. What are you doing? Stop this. This is your house. Tell them both to get out like now. Tell her you will seek out an attorney and you will fight for custody. Or shared custody. But keeping your son away from you isn't an option. You want her to change? Quit letting her do and say whatever she wants. Also, she's likely cheating on you. At some point you need to stand up for yourself. Go home and tell her that if she doesn't love you and want to be with you, fine. She and her dad can now live somewhere else. Also, her dad should have been paying rent. Stick up for yourself. What behaviors of yours caused father-in-law to tell you to grow up? Does wife want to work? There is some truly awful legal advice flying around this thread. Like seriously. Wildly off base or illegal advice. Take everything anyone's recommending here with a grain of salt. You need a lawyer. You could make one last-ditch effort and sit down with your partner and express to her that you're on the verge of seeking legal counsel, but I doubt that will amount to much. A lawyer will help you understand your options in your jurisdiction and help fight for an equitable outcome. Don't wait. You're just putting off the inevitable and time is of the essence. If your name is on the lease or mortgage, etc., then don't leave. Record everything that has happened. Put up some security cameras. Stay in the home. This sounds like she simply wants you out long enough to establish she lives in the home and not you. Then establish she is the primary caregiver to get full custody. This reads like all she wants if your money. Don't let that happen. Also DNA test her and her dad. That sounds kinda creepy. Get yourself an attorney to create a co-parenting plan. Once it's in place, be prepared to take her to court anytime she is out of compliance. Good luck. I feel like there is another side of the story or something is missing. I understand the hormonal changes, but I feel there is something you left out that angered her.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.